Hey guys, this is kind of like part two to my video because I got interrupted. I don't know what question I was on. I like to just like upload videos and not edit them right away. Like, I think it's just more simple until I start putting more content where I'm switching different places and it makes more sense to like edit them. But since I'm just answering questions, I'm just gonna do that for now. So, sorry about that. I don't know where I got cut off of the question I was answering, but um, this is my baby. I already introduced her, but this is my little baby. And since she's awake, she'll be sitting here with me while mommy answers some questions. Yes. Okay. Um, I'm gonna look at a new question because I don't know what I was answering, or if I was done answering a question. Let's see. Um, trying to find something that's interesting. I'm like reading on my tablet. What game have you spent the most hours playing? Okay, I have two games and they're from, well, they have the same name in it. But when I was a teenager, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you, because this is a relatable question, a lot of you can relate to this. I would play The Sims a lot. And yeah, I would play it a lot. So basically, I think after school and on the weekends, I would like stay on there for hours. And you know, when you're on a game for hours, you don't really like realize to like look up and it's like, oh shit, it's been it's been a while when it starts getting dark outside and you didn't even notice. I would get all the cheat codes for the games. You know, you get them from the internet and do like unlimited cash, or spend hours, hours making my house, like redecorating, building it, just all of the things. I would do that, and then try to get, you know, like the Sims mad and like make them like break up or like cheat on each other or get married or have kids, you know, all that stuff. The other game is The Sims City. I can spend some time on that. That's on my phone. Um, Probably some other. Oh, I used to play Grand Theft Auto, and my favorite one was Vice City. I would play that all the time. And you know what's crazy? I wouldn't even do the missions, which is like really the main part of the game. I would just drive around or like walk around or go swimming or like just that's what I would do. Like I didn't do I think I did like one or two missions. Like I was just not in for that. I was just like in for like just driving around and taking the cars and going on the beach and all that. That's what I would do. So, those are my three, I guess, like games I would play a lot. Obviously there's other games like car games I would play, but the ones I would spend the most time on, especially The Sims, like the one for the PC and the one for the obviously the video game. Let's see. Here's another one. What's the most addicted to a game you've ever been? Like I just said, The Sims. That's probably like the most addictive. Um what's the coldest you've ever been? What's the coldest like your attitude or coldest like temperature? I've never left Florida, which is crazy. So the coldest I've ever been is probably like whatever temperature was here, like probably 40 degrees, because it doesn't get cold here. But to me, that's probably like someone that's in like the negative degree of what's cold. So, um, do you eat food that's past its expiration date? And if it still smells and looks fine? If it still smells and looks fine. Oh yeah, if it smells good. Um, The only thing I probably would eat past the expiration date is bread, because usually bread, because it's stuff based on when it probably, because they have to put a date on there, so when they think it's going to expire, right? That doesn't mean on that exact day, like, oh, you can't eat it. So, but like I said, I'll go into it. So bread, you can eat bread a few days past the expiration, unless it's one, it's hard, especially like if it's like like French bread and stuff like that, like it gets hard, so it's not like edible. Or bread that, like a loaf of bread, if it's not moldy, you can still eat it a few days past. Um, and then like stuff like, yeah, and then stuff like on the shelf, like canned stuff, or maybe like chips. You can eat those a few days past. I wouldn't go more than a few days, and sometimes if I see it's expired, I just won't eat it anyways, but definitely not um anything dairy. Maybe milk. Okay, maybe milk. But meat, I probably won't. I won't even try to cook it or anything. Um Yogurt, I know, like milk I said, but that I don't even really drink milk. I think I've done it like one time, like on the day or maybe the day after, depending on how it, like I said, how it smells and how it tastes. Um, but if it's like meat and stuff like that, I'm not gonna risk it. It's not worth it. But if it's like stuff like, like snacks and stuff, I guess like you can still go a few days. Um, you know, at one time, here's something that you should be looking at, okay? Because this happens a lot. If you go into stores, or especially like gas stations or even CVS, okay? Look at the food items on the shelf and the dates, because depending on how frequently people come in to fill up the stuff on the shelves, they're not, the people that are working there is probably like one or two, especially at CVS. There's always just like one or two people in the front, but not a lot of people are like in the aisles like working, so they're not like checking like the products like that, unless maybe they get something where they have to like put stuff on clearance, then they're probably marking that stuff down. But if it's like food items, um yeah, I noticed, yeah, I got some fruit bars, and they tasted fine to me. And I checked the date later on, and they were like a month past due. And I was kind of like, oh crap. But I wasn't too worried because, I mean, I didn't get sick from it. But usually I'm always checking. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You want this? You want this? Okay. Usually I'm always checking the dates just on anything, and something else too. I know I'm going a little bit off topic, but instead of talking about expirations and foods and stuff, here's a tip I think that everyone should do. I think when you go into a store, especially when it's frozen items or food that's in the cold area, always grab the one that is behind the first one when you open something, or the third or fourth behind that, because there's been so many times, and it just like, it gets to me, when you're shopping through the store and you see like someone put like a sandwich, and it's crazy, it's not even in like the same section. Like you could be walking through like a regular store that has obviously grocery, and then like, other stuff like a Target, or even the Walmarts that are not just like grocery, and you find like as you're walking by, there's like a whole thing of like juice in the clothing section, or a sandwich or meat that's not even anywhere near where the cold stuff is. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it like makes me like cringe, because you don't know, first of all, that's nasty, how long it's been sitting, and secondly, if someone sees it, which I'm talking about an employee, because a customer, I don't think is just gonna like grab it and put it back. Like, why are they gonna do that? I don't know if the employee is gonna take it to where I guess they have damaged stuff, or they're gonna send it back out because obviously it's been sitting, so, or if they're gonna go put it right back. So I always, when it's cold stuff, I always grab usually further in the back. Like I'll just like go dig in and grab, because I never grab the first thing that's cold, because I'm just always worried that somebody put it back and I don't want to get sick from it. Like, I really don't. I've been like that for a long time. So that's a tip. Okay. What's the funniest comedy skit you've seen? I usually don't watch like comedy skits. Obviously, I'll watch like movies that have comedy, but I don't like watch comedy skits. Not that I have anything against comedy. I love comedy stuff. But I have been watching a few comedy specials on Netflix. So the one that I've watched twice now, because I don't, I mean, it depends on stuff. I rewatch stuff, but it just depends on what it is. So Ellen, her skit on her comedy special on Netflix, I watched it twice. Obviously, I've given it time in between, but it's still as funny as the first time. And she's just funny in general. So that's probably the funniest like comedy special that I've seen, because I really haven't seen that many, or that are like memorable where I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. So that's probably the one. Um. mm, oh, here's a good one. What tips or tricks have you picked up? Sorry, my voice is going out for some reason. What tips or tricks have you picked up from your jobs? When I used to work in retail, um, I guess one of the things that I've learned is like really like reading signs, which a lot of customers do not read signs well, or they just think that they can. I don't know if they're pretending, but I mean, I don't think they're pretending, because the way that they be sounding is like they're not pretending. But and it's just like something so simple, like when you read a sales sign, read the sign, because there's always the small print. Usually a sign has small print, or you need to read the sign correctly. Like the one that always got to me was when I worked as a cashier, and they would come up with stuff like the items to the sorry, I have to sneeze, I think. Hold on. This is real life. Excuse me. Okay. When I was a cashier, they would come up and say, "Oh, this is 40% off." And I'm like, "No, it's ringing up like 20% off." Like, "No, there's a sign that says it's 40% off." So either I would go check, and mostly me, because we didn't have a lot of, I'm not going to name where I used to work at, but we wouldn't have a lot of people there working. So you pretty much had to go do your own price checks and leave your register, which is so much fun. But anyways, I didn't really mind, especially if it was like in the front of the store, but you know, it just depends on like the day or the mood you're in. So basically, I would bring the sign, or the customer would go with me and show me, and I would say, no, it says it's up to 40%. So up to obviously means it can go from anywhere from, I would just say 5%, because there's nothing really below 5% I've seen in a store. 5% up to 40%. So it's ringing up 20 because it's up to 40%. So, you know, stuff like that. Or if it's buy one, get one, you have to read. Oh, here's the one. If it's buy one, get one free, and then on the small print underneath, it usually says, you know, like you buy the one that's, what is it, equal or less, equal or lesser value. So what that means is, if you get two different things that are different prices, the one that is higher is the one you're going to pay for, and the one that is lower is one you're going to get free. Or if at the same price, you're obviously going to pay the same price, because they're both the same price. But if one's $30 and one is 25, you're gonna get the one that's 25 free. So that's another tip. What else have I learned? I feel like I should have a whole bunch because I've worked in retail for a long time. I'm really trying to think. What tips or tricks have you picked up? I guess kind of like to keep busy. I mean, you just try to like, especially if you're bored, try to find stuff to do. I don't really know if that's a tip, but it keeps time going, because when you're sitting there or standing there and you are waiting for time to go by, it seems like hours and hours more than trying to like keep yourself busy, even if it's like cleaning up something or going to help a customer or just something else like to do to like get done, so you're not just like standing there. Because I've worked in so many different departments in retail. The the worst one is being a cashier. So we would have times in the day where it's not busy at the store I worked at. So you're just standing around. And I do not like just standing around. Some people might like it. They don't have to do much. But when it just feels like you're not doing anything and you're staring at the clock on your screen for your register, and time's just not going by, it's just like the worst. I would rather be like out on the floor, like putting stuff out, or working in a different department doing something where I'm not constantly just standing there. I would rather like move around. I think that for me is just like, you know, one of the best things. And then also, I guess, knowing who's working for the day. That's probably another tip, because it helps you to know like who's in each department, so you can go get price checks, or just if you need help with something. I think that's good to know. What's wrong? What's wrong? Okay. Oh, here's one. It's okay. Real life right now. What songs hit you with a wave of nostalgia every time you hear them? I could name a lot of songs, and I don't want to go into like... Is that my cat? My cat is literally pushing through the door to get in here. That is funny. With her head. She has a strong head because she just got in here. I could name a lot of songs, but let me just tell you the years so that makes it a little simpler. Anywhere from like 2006 to probably like 2011-ish. Like any like hip hop, pop, rap, anything in there. Let me just tell you, if you know those years and you hear those songs, that's to me when like the best music was. So I'll just say that instead of just like naming songs, because I told you like what I like the category of songs or the genre. I'm trying to look at questions. Well, that's a good one, but I don't know. I would really have to think about that one. What really needs to be modernized, right? I said that right? I think it depends on who you ask, because I think I think it depends on your generation that you're in, without sounding so rude about it. But I feel like my generation and younger will think differently on points of views of different things, than an older generation. So what really needs to be modernized? Probably the way of working nowadays. Like if you ask an older person, usually they'll say like, oh, you should go to college and then get your degree and stuff like that. But I feel like that's not really realistic, because it's not that simple as to like, especially going there and really finding what you really want to do, because a lot of people change obviously when they're going through college about what they really went there for and what they come out with. And then if you can find a job right away, if you're coming out with, if you didn't get scholarships and stuff, you're coming out with loans and debt. So starting off like that, I don't think, unless like you really know what you really want to do and you need a degree for it, then go for it. But I feel like just because people tell you to go, you shouldn't just go, because it's a lot of work and you have to really be on it, or you're just like wasting money and time and owing money if you don't get scholarships and ways to pay it, or if you had help paying it. So I think that's something that you can just work other jobs, or how things are now that you can work on the internet. Like I said, I think it just depends on who you ask. Another thing I would get into is probably marriage, I would say. Everyone has an opinion. I guess some people think you really have to be married, or depending on the generation you're asking. I mean, obviously one day I would like to be married, because I just agree with like the commitment of it and all that. But like I said, I don't, if you don't want to, you can just be with someone, and you be a piece of paper doesn't make you committed. But I know some people do it for financial stuff, for commitment, and for other things. But I think that needs to be like modernized, that you just don't have to be happy and to be with someone. I think that too. Let me just do a few more. What would be the best thing you could reasonably I can't pronounce these, expect to find in a cave? See, something so simple that I can't say. What is something reasonable I could find in a cave? I haven't been in a cave. I've watched a lot of movies. Something reasonable, I would say probably like bugs, or maybe rats, right? In a cave. Or water, maybe it's dripping down from somewhere. That would be reasonable. You could find. I don't really know. I think it's just in movies. What's something reasonable? What? Bones? But I think that's just in movies. Like, I don't know if that's really real or not. They just use that to like have like people freak out. I would say like water, maybe. It's probably dripping from somewhere, I guess. I don't really know a lot about caves, so I can't really like go on a whole thing about that. Let me do like 2 or 3 more. As a child, what do you think would be awesome about being an adult but isn't as awesome as you thought it would be? I honestly don't know. Maybe relationships. Maybe that would be something. But relationships are hard, and they're obviously a lot of compromising, and finding someone that you really are compatible with is important. So maybe that, like, you really have to like go through that to experience it, to really like know, because when you watch stuff or you think there's an idea of something, you have no idea until you experience that. That's probably the thing I can say about that. What would be some of the downsides of certain superpowers? maybe invisibility, because let's just say you got stuck being invisible. Um, I I don't think that if you need help and you were stuck being invisible, they they can't help you to see like where you're at. That's probably the one. What else? Maybe flying could be a downside. What are some downsides of certain superpowers? Flying. Um, I don't know if you can like run into things when you're up in the air. Or maybe the certain the weather, I guess. That's something. Okay, let's see. We'll do one more. I want to find something that's really like. What brand are you most loyal to? Easy. I don't have one. I'm not like a brand name type of person. Depending depending on clothing, I just think whatever has good quality and what I see that looks good and is a good deal, because I like deals, that would be it. Because I don't really care about name brand stuff, or if people like it. I know some people do it for looks or maybe for quality. um I believe that quality is better than what's on what just like is just like on your shirt or on your pants. So but I would say probably um if anything, a brand I'm most loyal to would probably be like a food brand, because you can taste usually the difference in foods. So I don't know a brand per se, but I would just say like if I was to look at the brand name of a food item, and I could kind of think like, okay, this one I probably will get because it might taste a little better. So probably that. But okay, guys, I've been on here a long time answering questions. It was fun though. I will do this again. I'm gonna spend some time with baby. Um, say bye, you guys. See you next time. Thank you.